I'ma go get it tonight.
How's it going, Soljos and Soljets? Soljo here, and today we're going to talk about something a little bit different. So being an individual with over $3 million in jailbreak cash, a lot of the newer players come to ask me, should I buy the Vault Bike, the Blackhawk, or the Army Heli, or the Monster Truck? And right off the bat, we're going to exclude the Monster Truck from the list because that's like the worst thing you could ever waste your money on. Like, it's so expensive, but it has so little features, making that vehicle pretty much useless. There's nothing good you can do with that vehicle anymore. I mean, when it first came out, it was but now it's just useless. There's so much better options. So today we're just going to talk about the Blackhawk and the Vault Bike. So to start off this debate, we're going to first talk about the pros and cons about the Vault Bike, and then we're going to move on to the Army Heli. So right now, we're doing the Vault Bike. So first, we're starting off with the pros. So for pro number one is that the Vault Bike is a fast and fun to use vehicle. When you're on a public jailbreak server, you'll notice that a lot of people like to use the Vault Bike because it's a great method of transportation. Unfortunately, it can only fit one person, but I guess that's good if you don't want random people like clinging onto you every now and then begging you for money. But yeah, I like the Vault Bike. So pro number two is the killer amazing looks of this little fella. So for example, my favorite part of the Vault Bike is that awesome bright trail that it leaves. That just leaves everyone on your tail a message saying, don't mess with me, I have a Vault Bike. You can change the color of your neons and the color of your trails to any color you want, which is great in my opinion because all of the colors look amazing on the Vault Bike because it's the Vault Bike. Who wouldn't say no to that? So yes, for the final pro, I put pro/con because this is a good feature of the Vault Bike, but it's also a pretty bad feature. It can help you at times, but it can also increase the chance of you embarrassing yourself, crashing, getting arrested, losing your $3,000 bounty, and getting L-spammed. But what I'm talking about is the fact that the Vault Bike is a very glitchy and buggy vehicle, meaning if you made your final decision and you chose to purchase the Vault Bike instead of the Blackhawk, you need to get used to the way the Vault Bike performs. Sorry, I said Bolt. But the positives of this feature is simple. The Vault Bike glitch, you may be wondering, Soljo, what are you talking about? I'm talking about the glitch. If you go up to your Vault Bike, hold down shift, and then press E and spacebar at the same time, and then zoom in, you'll notice that you can control the Vault Bike by using your mouse. It doesn't sound like a lot, but trust me, this glitch is very useful for getting out of cop chases, turning in power plant uranium with almost all the value intact. I hate to say it, but when this glitch gets patched, the Vault Bike, it might be useless. So keep that in mind. So yeah, the Vault Bike, it's a pretty bugged vehicle, and like I said, there's an upside and a downside to this. Now we're going to talk about the downside. So, being that the Vault Bike, it's kind of a broken vehicle. When you're driving at max speed on the road, the Vault Bike is sometimes like to spaz out, do vertical flips on the road, or just lose all its speed for no reason because it acts like there's like an invisible wall in front of it stopping it. It can throw you off track a lot. It will lose you a lot of uranium value for the power plant. If you're misfortunate and that happens while delivering uranium, and you just look like a dork when that happens to you. So hopefully it gets fixed. I don't know if the Vault Bike's intentions are to be like this, but I sure hate that. So for con number two of the Vault Bike is that it's hard to control. So without doing the Vault Bike glitch, it's actually not the easiest vehicle to control. It takes some time to get used to, being that it's the second fastest car in the game. First being the Torpedo or the Koenigsegg. So considering that the Vault Bike, it's a fast vehicle, it's hard to turn, it can get frustrating while making sharp turns, while also worrying about the invisible bumps. So moving on with the Vault Bike, now we're going to go over the pros about the Blackhawk, or as you guys call it, the Army Heli. So for pro number one is that the Army Heli, it's really easy to use. You won't have to worry about the city blocks and turns when you hop into this beast. Once you're in, you just hold down E and you're good to go. This is an amazing choice if you suck at driving and you like to get a nice glance of the ruins, the city, or the lake. Or even the prison, who knows. So for Blackhawk Pro number 2 is that this aircraft, it comes stock with missiles. So once you're inside of it, you won't have to worry about stopping by the gun store, or at least until you're outside of the helicopter, because once you buy this thing, it comes with missiles, which is awesome. They're pretty accurate as well, so just move your mouse to where you want to shoot the missile, press F, and then it'll launch the missile towards that direction. You might get bullied a lot, you might get called a for using missiles, but hey, you do you. I guess you can consider a message saying, stay away from me, my helicopter has missiles and I'm not afraid to use them. Army Heli's third pro is the amount of space inside of this. With the Army Heli, including the driver's seat, it can fit up to 9 people inside. 2 in the front, 6 in the back, and 1 extra person on the cable. So if one jailbreak server can hold 26 players max, 9 people in just 1 Army Heli, that's 1/3 of the jailbreak server just inside of 1 helicopter. That's crazy. So if you aren't a sociopath who only worries about themselves like Misty Arisa, then you should get this. You can bust everyone out of prison in a matter of seconds with this. It's crazy, I know. So now moving on to the cons of the Blackhawk. So for con number 1 is the amount of space this thing takes up. It's really not that big of a deal, and the space is kind of needed considering it can hold like 1/3 of a jailbreak server inside, but this thing, it's huge. It can become an issue if you continuously use it to deliver power plant uranium. If you park this thing next to a power plant door, it's going to be hard to leave the power plant because this thing, it's massive. It takes up a lot of space. It takes up like 1/4 of the museum and half of the power plant. It's pretty big, yeah, I know. It's not that much of an issue if you know how to park it properly, but it's not the best feature if you aren't the parking kind of person, if you know what I mean. So for con number 2 is that you can't spawn this thing in. So every time you want to get a new one, you have to go all the way back to the 1 million dealership and grab another one, and you have to keep doing that every time your previous one despawns. And that's what I hate most about the Blackhawk. And don't get me wrong, the Blackhawk, it's awesome, it's OP, and you look really slick when you're flying around in it, but it's annoying when you have to go get a new one from the dealership almost every time. It gets annoying, it's frustrating, it's irritating, but maybe one day, Badimo, they might make a game pass where you can spawn in aircrafts like the UFO or the Blackhawk, but I highly doubt it because people just might consider it a cash grab. But for me it won't, because at this point we really need it. So I can't really think of any more cons about the Blackhawk because it's pretty much the best vehicle in the game, or aircraft if you have OCD, but I can't really think of any more cons. I mean, I can, but they're like semi cons or minor cons. Like if you know how to handle it, it's not that big of a deal. Like you can de-escalate situations quickly, so that's why they're minor cons. So now we're gonna go to the conclusion of what I think you should buy with your first $1 million. So what does Soljo think you should buy when you get your first $1 million? The Blackhawk. Now, as I mentioned in the pros, this aircraft, it's really easy to control, and it has just enough room for you and your buddies, almost like a family vehicle. And a pretty good reason on why you should buy this first and not the Vault Bike is because it's good for training and grinding purposes. So you can make grinding a lot easier with this aircraft without much driving skill. But don't ever listen to what I say. Only do so if you can't make your decision on what you want to buy. I definitely get the Blackhawk first if I were to start all over, and then get the Vault Bike. But remember, the decision, it's up to you. If you want to buy the Vault Bike first, get the Vault Bike first. I'm not going to shame anyone for doing so, but if you wanted to, leave a comment showing reasoning on why do you actually buy the Vault Bike first and not the Blackhawk. But if I saved a little longer and grinded to 2 million instead of 1 million, I'd get both vehicles, because I personally like the Vault Bike more because I use that more often to grind, and I can just spawn another one in whenever I need it. It's there for me whenever I need it, and that's why I love it so much. So thank you for watching. I'll see you all next time.